Imagine this. You're walking on a long, quiet beach just before sunrise. The sand stretches before you, smooth and untouched. Behind you, the world is slowly waking. But here, everything feels still. You can hear the gentle rhythm of the waves moving toward the shore. The morning air is cool against your skin. Far ahead, the horizon is hidden beneath a soft layer of mist. Then the first light reaches across the water. The mist begins to lift. Shapes become clearer. The coastline slowly reveals itself. Nothing has changed, but you can simply see it now. This is the energy of Calcite, the crystal that carries the energy of clarity, new perspectives, release, growth, and emotional balance. In a world filled with noise, messages, opinions, responsibilities, expectations, and endless things ask our attention. Sometimes the noise becomes so familiar that we stop noticing it. You may wake up already thinking about everything you need to do. You carry yesterday's conversation into today. Spend hours trying to solve a problem that becomes more confusing the longer you stare at it. And eventually, you wonder why something that seemed so simple feels impossible to understand. This is where Calcite begins to offer another perspective. It's connected with mental clarity and the ability to see things more clearly. Not by giving you an answer, but by encouraging you to create space around the question. Think about the beach beneath your feet. The path was always there. The horizon was always there. The morning light simply made them easier to see. Perhaps clarity can work the same way. Sometimes you don't need to think harder. You simply need to quiet the noise long enough to notice what you already know. There is another side to clarity that we don't always talk about. Seeing clearly means realizing what you no longer need to carry. We all collect things as we move through life. Old disappointments, unfinished conversations, mistakes we wish we could change, people we still think about. We carry these things simply because they have become familiar. You may not even notice their weight anymore. Imagine picking up a small stone from the beach. It feels almost weightless in your hand. You keep walking, and for a while you forget it's there. But after some time, your fingers begin to ache. You could keep holding it, or you could gently place it back into the sand. The stone hasn't changed. What happened hasn't changed. but your hand is free. This is one of the deeper ideas connected with Calcite. Many people associate it with release and letting go. Not forgetting, not pretending something didn't matter. Simply allowing yourself to stop carrying what no longer belongs in your present. Sometimes letting go isn't about losing something. It's about making room for what comes next. Letting go creates enough space to see something differently. Have you ever looked back at a moment in your life and understood it in a completely different way? At the time, it may have felt like an ending, a rejection, a mistake, a door closing when you desperately wanted it to stay open. But time can change the way we see things. The experience remains the same, but the meaning can shift. Here's where Calcite can bring us hope. It reminds us that a new perspective doesn't always change what happened. It changes how we understand what occurred. Maybe the situation you're struggling with today will look different when you have more distance from it. Or what feels like a setback is quietly redirecting you. Maybe the answer isn't to keep looking harder at the problem. All you need to do is step back, take a breath, and look with fresh eyes. Because sometimes the path doesn't appear because it wasn't there. It appears because you finally changed the way you were looking at it. Seeing something differently is the beginning of change. We often imagine growth as something dramatic. A new life, a major decision, a moment when everything suddenly falls into place. But real growth can be much quieter. It can begin with a thought you didn't have before, a boundary you finally set, a choice that feels more like you. Calcite gently reminds us of growth, transformation, and positive change. So the next time you feel like nothing is happening, remember that not all growth can be seen immediately. Some changes happen quietly beneath the surface, like the tide slowly reshaping the sand beneath your feet. You may be changing without realizing it. You don't have to instantly become someone completely new. Sometimes growth simply means becoming more comfortable with who you already are. So, I'll leave you with this. What part of yourself are you ready to grow into? And what small change could ignite that journey today?